Hi guys, and welcome back to another video for PSO2 NGS. In today's video, we're going to finish off the series of weapon guides for new players, and we're going to be looking at the jet boots, which are used by the bouncer class. Now, I've held off on this video a little bit just because there have been some changes recently to the bouncer class that have impacted how it plays. I've already done a video on the sword and blade changes in particular, so check that out on my channel if you haven't seen it already. But in today's video, we're going to look at the other bouncer weapon, which is the jet boots. So we'll look at the actual animation for the attack combo, we'll look at the weapon action, we'll look into each of the different Photon Arts, and then some of the skills that impact how you play jet boots as well. So basic overview is that jet boots are a technique weapon. So although they are used to hit melee, they actually count as a technique weapon. So they'll actually benefit from technique affixes rather than melee affixes. So that's a basic overview. The main gimmick of jet boots is that you can alter some of your attacks by using techniques as well. So I'll show you how that works as well. But first thing we'll look at is the basic weapon combo. So your first hit is just a quick kick with your right leg and it's generally one tag or things that are very close together. Just a single kick. And for now, you can see there's like a red effect around my legs at the minute. I'm just disregard that at the moment. I'll come back to what that means in a minute. The second hit is a kick back the other way. And then your third hit is sort of a more vertical kick. And then the last hit of the combo is a bigger hit that makes you jump away a little bit as well. So you would actually get some distance from the enemy doing this. You can see it does create a little bit of distance, not much, but it's a little bit of a back off. However, I should note that the first hit of the combo does actually advance you a little bit as well. So you won't knock yourself out of range of any enemies with it. So you can see if I'm right up to the target here and I do my combo, I'll back off a little bit, but then without moving, if I do my first hit again, it puts it back in range again. So it kind of moves you in and out of range a little bit. That's your basic combo with jet boots. So next up we have the weapon action. So weapon action, when you press it, do this little spin. And this is mainly used as a parry. So this is the main use of your weapon action. You can also do it with the direction input as well. So you can move around with it. And it does actually give you quite a bit of movement. So the next thing we'll look at is the different Photon Arts. So although jet boots are a technique weapon, they're a little bit like wand in that they actually have Photon Arts as well. So with jet boots, we have 4 Photon Arts. We have Spinning Gust, Violent Gale, Fierce Wave, and Surging Impulse. The first one is Spinning Gust. So it says, kick the enemy as you spin vertically. Pressing and holding the PA button will change the attack in exchange of consuming additional PP. This is kind of the main gimmick of the Photon Arts for jet boots, in that they have a basic version of them, but if you hold the button down, it will transition into a second part that uses additional PP. So for this Photon Art, which was Spinning Gust, the first part of it, just do a very quick spin up in the air and just hit a few times. So at this point, I need to point out the red aura around my feet at the minute. So with jet boots, if you use any kind of charge technique, you will elementally charge the jet boots. And what that will do is it will add elemental explosions onto some of your Photon Arts. So you can see at the moment, there's a red glow, which is because I've used a fire tech just before the video started. So if I use this Spinning Gust, you can see at the start of it, there's like a fiery explosion. Normally you wouldn't have this if you weren't elementally charged. If I then go to barter on my palette and do a charge barter, you can see the glow now changes to blue. And if I do the same Photon Art again, it's now an ice explosion. And this is the same for every element, so you can have lightning explosions, wind explosions, light or dark explosions as well. That's kind of one of the gimmicks of jet boots. So with Spinning Gust, as I've mentioned, if you hold the Photon Art, you can actually change how it works. So if I hold it down, you get this large kick at the end that does a lot of damage. So normally you would just get a couple of hits, and then the final hit is basically put you back in position. What you can also see as well is that with the elemental charges, it does actually start to charge any auras that the techs use. So because I'm using ice at the moment, I am actually charging up this barter blot. So if I keep using this, so you can see we've got the full barter block there, and then if I use barter again, we get the same effect we would get as if we were a force. So you can still do all of those as well. So you can still do this for any element. So again, if I go back to fire, you can see it doesn't even need to be a charge tech, it can be an uncharged one as well. And then again, if I continue to do fire, what you'll notice is there's a couple of extra hits on the Photon Art, and that's from the little fire aura as well. So you get those bonus effects as well. So that's Spinning Gust. So your next Photon Art is Violent Gale. This is kick the enemy as you spin horizontally. So with this one, if you just press it, you do like a quick flurry of hits. Again, we get that explosion at the beginning as well. That's because of our elemental charge. If we hold the Photon Art down, you basically get a large kick at the end. There's a lot of damage, but it also puts a lot of distance between you and the target again. So I suppose it's quite good to use, for example, if an enemy is about to do a big AoE attack, you can always use this quickly and then use that to get away and get some damage in while you're doing it. So that's a Violent Gale. The next one is Fierce Wave. So Fierce Wave is unleashes a shockwave in front of you as you spin vertically. So if we just press it, you can see it puts this little spinning target here. Now, it might be hard to see what that does. Basically, if you target it right, it will just hit a few additional times. So you can use it for additional DPS while you're doing other Photon Arts. So I could do this, and then I can run in and do Spinning Gale or Spinning Gust. And, you know, the first Photon Art is still doing damage while I'm doing Spinning Gust as well. If we charge this one instead, we get a lot more hits out of it, and the extra hits that keep on attacking last for a bit longer as well, and hit a bit more frequently. You can see we do get a few more hits out of that. Next up, we have... That was Fierce Wave. So the last one is Surging Impulse. This is rapidly closing on your target and deliver a powerful kick attack. Pressing and holding the PA button will deploy several photon blades that deal damage at the cost of additional PP. So if we just press it, it's basically a huge dive kick. And you see it's got huge range on it as well. I'm not sure how long it is, but say if I go back to here, and not quite from there. We clipped it there, so you can see it has a really, really long range. I suppose what you could do is you could back away. Yes, I suppose you could kind of do that. So you could back away with one Photon Art and then dash in. So I'll try doing that again. Yeah, so you could use the charged version of Violent Gale to put you out of position and then use the dive kick to get back in. So there is a little bit of like combo potential there. But you can see by charging it, get these blades round us as well. And that means it's a little bit like the double saber whirlwind. So whenever we go near an opponent, we do like consistent damage. So there's a couple of ways of adding extra damage on with jet boots. So that's a basic look at how the Photon Arts work. So next up, we're going to look at the skills that actually affect jet boots. So we've obviously got the ones that apply to anything for Bouncer, but specific to jet boots, we have Jet Attack Extra, which gives you 4 normal attacks. So that final, more powerful kick at the end, that's unlocked by getting Jet Attack Extra. We then have Jet Intensity. This is holding down the normal attack button while enemies are within a certain range will unleash combo attacks that gradually increase in speed. So for this, if I just hold down the normal attack button, so we start doing this from side to side, and it gets faster and faster. And then it finishes with a huge hit at the end. Obviously, the downside is that it has a long wind up. There is a long time before you get that final hit. But this is really good for example, down bosses. So you can see it starts off quite slow, doing about 1,000 damage a hit. Starts to build up. Then we end it and we do 47,000 damage at the end. So it's a huge hit at the end of that. So really, really good for immobilized enemies or for down bosses. So that's jet intensity. Really, really useful for certain situations. So next up, we have boot trick bounce counter. This is when you successfully dodge a weapon action, you automatically unleash a counter. Pressing the normal attack button in addition will release another one. So with jet boots, whenever you dodge via this weapon action, you will automatically do a counter attack. You don't need to press anything. Just by doing the weapon action, you'll automatically counter. Quite often what you'll find is with counters on different weapons in NGS, you'll have to do the weapon action to initiate the counter and then press a button to do the actual counter attack. So you effectively parry and then counter. But with jet boots, just by doing the weapon action, you get a counter straight out of it. But then if you press the weapon action button, you'll get... if you press the normal attack button, you'll then get a second counter out of it as well. So it's like a follow-up counter. Next, we have thrust drive. So this is pressing the normal attack button at a certain time after releasing a technique will cause you to charge at the enemy. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah. So what you'll notice is when you do a technique, your character will glow briefly. You see there, we've got like a glow around our character. I'll show that again just so you can see it. So there. You see the character kind of glows up like a whitey purple colour. If you then press normal attack while you're glowing, you dash into an enemy, so that's another way of closing distance as well. Next we have Photon Arts skip beat. This is after using different Photon Arts successively, normal attack changes to a powerful attack treated as the third stage. So basically, what you want you to do is chain different Photon Arts. So and then you can see when I did a normal attack at the end there, it totally changed it. So I'll show that again. So you can see, now we're back to our normal combo. If I then string a few Photon Arts together, and then do a normal attack, I do that large sort of jumping slash instead, that does more damage. But next we have Jet Boots element set. This is gain an additional attack with the element that corresponds to the last technique used when hitting an enemy with your Photon Art. So this is what I've been showing you. So again, you can see that at the minute my boots are charged with fire. I'll change it to ice just so you can see. So they're now charged with ice. And if I then use a Photon Art, I get that ice explosion. So that's how that works. So next, we have Jet Sweep Jolt. This is an active skill. It says build up the gauge by attacking or dodging, then expend it to fire a single powerful blast. So because it's an active skill, it goes onto your sub palette. So we've got active here. Because we've been attacking, we've already got active. So the way this works is you do attacks and Photon Arts to build the gauge up, and then by activating it, get that quick flurry of attacks there as well. So you always want Jet Sweep Jolt on your palette, and whenever it's available, you've got that quick burst of damage available for you. Next we have Thrust Drive Skip Attack. This is after using Thrust Drive, your normal attack changes to its fourth step. So just a reminder, Thrust Drive is when you do the charge after doing a technique. So if you do a normal attack after doing Thrust Drive, you get it starts at the 4th step of your attack. So what you want to do is do a technique, do thrust drive, and then do a normal attack. So we'll do technique, thrust drive, normal attack. And you can see it starts off with that end combo. So just again, technique, thrust drive, normal attack. So next after that, we have Jet Sweep Jolt Rapid Boost. So this is increases your Photon Art attack speed for a set time when you use Jet Sweep Jolt. And we also have Jet Sweep Jolt PP Save, which is it reduces your PP consumption after using Jet Sweep Jolt. And Jet Sweep Jolt Cooldown, or Short Cooldown, which is when you successfully dodge with a weapon action, the cooldown for Jet Sweep Jolt is reduced. This is all about you using Jet Sweep Jolt as much as possible. Obviously, increasing your Photon Art attack speed after you've used Jet Sweep Jolt is really big as well. So what we'll do is we'll do a few attacks, just try and build that Jet Sweep Jolt up again. Okay, so we've now got Jet Sweep Jolt recharged again. So what I'll do is now I'll use Jet Sweep Jolt, and then I'll show you the difference in the Photon Art attack speed. So just as an example, so if we go with, for example, Spinning Gust, this is the normal speed for it. Whereas if we use Jet Sweep Jolt, and then use it again, you see it is a little bit quicker. It's not a huge difference, but it does help. It's mainly Photon Arts like this where you can notice the difference, so you can see that this dive kick is a lot faster. So that's the advantage of using Jet Sweep Jolt, because as well as the damage from Jet Sweep Jolt, you're also getting the buff to your attack speed and the reduced PP cost as well. And then obviously you can recharge Jet Sweep Jolt faster by successfully dodging attacks with your weapon action as well. That's a basic rundown of how jet boots work. It's not a weapon I'm massively familiar with. I tend to play Soaring Blades more when I play Bouncer, and particularly with the changes it got recently. But it is a really, really fun weapon, jet boots, and it's a nice hybrid of like a melee weapon crossed with a tech weapon. As I said at the start, if you are going to build for jet boots, you do want to be building towards a tech build. So you want tech affixes on your boots, not melee ones, even though it looks like you're using melee attacks a lot with jet boots. It is treated as a tech weapon. The way you tell that, if you're not sure how to tell, is look at the icon color. So typically in NGS, what it'll do is for melee weapons, they'll have an orange icon. For range weapons, I don't have any with me at the minute, but they'll have a blue icon. And tech weapons will have a yellow icon. This one's got two because it's a multi-weapon. That's kind of how it works. So jet boots are treated as a tech weapon. So you want to be building in for tech-focused affixes, and they'll help you most, even though you're using what look like melee attacks. So I hope that's been relatively useful, and as I've said, this now rounds out the series of beginner guides for NGS weapons. If any more get added in the future, I will obviously do guides on those. If there's anything in particular you want to see in the future, either for NGS or other Phantasy Star games, just let me know in the comments below, and I will try and do whatever I can. I kind of want to tailor the channel to what you guys want to see, so just let me know below and I will try and do what I can for you. If you've enjoyed the video, please consider liking or subscribing to the channel. Really, really helps, and thanks to all the subscribers recently as well. It's a massive help to the channel growth. So, in the meantime, I'll end this video there. Any questions, leave them below, but otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.